Hey guys, so the entire market in general is bullish. Why is Jollibee not moving up? Why is it not going anywhere? I got a lot of questions with that. So for this video, let's discuss Jollibee. Let's discuss the status of where the stock is currently headed and what are you supposed to do if you're a trader or investor, if you have cash, or if you own the shares already. Check this video out. Hey guys, so before I begin this video, I'm giving out this Bloomberg mystery black box to the subscriber who can answer this question the best. If Jollibee is down, would you still hold it for the long term? And why? What is the biggest thing that will cause you to buy Jollibee and hold it for a very long time? But if you're new to this channel, subscribe. So if you want to know more about the stock market, I make daily videos on how you can win and how you can trade the markets with confidence because I really believe that the stock market is one of the greatest investments out there. So on with the video. So to those following me in this channel, you know that I have created multiple videos of Jollibee because I really like the growth trajectory of Jollibee and where it's actually headed for the long term. I know it's a good brand. I know that they have had success in terms of how they built Jollibee in the Philippines and internationally and how it has beaten McDonald's in this market. So from a brand and fundamental standpoint, I think there's nothing wrong with Jollibee in that regard. But if you drill down deeper and let's look at other factors denoting its fundamentals, I think the biggest two issues that's preventing Jollibee from moving up is number one, valuations. As of its current point in time, Jollibee is relatively expensive, even compared to other fast food chains and even compared to its historical valuations. Jollibee is in the higher end of its valuation and it's relatively more expensive. And of course, who would want to buy a company that's more expensive because it limits your upside? It not just limits your upside, but should it go higher in the next few years, the potential of you gaining money is not as much as well. So the name of the game, if you want to invest in Jollibee, is you have to wait for it. If you're looking at it from a valuations perspective, you have to wait for it to look cheaper. You have to wait for it to correct as much. And that being said, even though it has already dropped, it hasn't really corrected as much where it becomes so cheap to ignore. We haven't seen that area yet, especially for the year. And second, from a fundamental standpoint, one of the things that have dragged this, and I created videos about it, I'll put the link in the description below, but Smashburger is basically not making as much money in the US, and it's sort of a hole, it's a leak in terms of how Jollibee's earnings are. So that being said, those are the factors that are creating some sort of a negative sentiment on Jollibee. They have leaks, they have companies that are not doing so well, plus they're still expensive in spite of all of those happening. You have to remember, there has to be something that will cause people to buy higher. There has to be something that will push them to buy even if valuations are higher, and it has to be something that's good. It has to be news that's so positive so that people will go, so that people will come, and so people will invest in it. Now, looking at the charts, here's what I want to show you. Number one, Jollibee moved up from October to somewhere January this year. It moved up from 240 to 320 pesos. That's around 30+% already in just a 2 to 3 month period, which is quite fast also, provided that Jollibee is already quite expensive. That being said, there's a couple of things that I'd like to note. It's still below a very strong moving average, making the stock bearish. But what I want to point out here is this. Jollibee can be divided into three tiers. The underlying theme for all of this is that from a tech perspective, Jollibee is sideways. As you can see also, the moving averages are confirming that Jollibee is sideways, no momentum, no push, no strong upward move. Even MACD confirms it as well. But from a tech perspective, also, you will see this. The sideways market can be divided into three layers and three tiers. The entire sideways market move is from 270 to around 322. That's how you can see it over the past. It's been moving in that projection since late December up to where we are today, and it's already July. So this is now an 8-month major sideways movement. But the second tier, the first tier of Jollibee can be divided by its sideways market from 305 to 322. The thing about that, we've been moving there from December to somewhere in March this year. But what happened after that was this. Somewhere around March, we broke down from that level. So that means the previous support at 305 is now the new resistance, and it will form a new range. When stocks break down from certain support ranges, it creates another sideways market or creates another range as well. After that breakdown, it just had a very, very short sideways projection in that level from 305 all the way to around 290 pesos per share. That lasted for just about a month. This was in April. I remember it quite well because it broke down from that range, and it also broke down from a very, very, very strong moving average at that point in time. That being said, the last range that we're looking at is the 290 to 270 level. Jollibee has been hovering that range since April to where we are today. Now, what's the main reason why it really hasn't moved up? Number one is it hasn't really broken out of the 290 sideways market. It hasn't broken out from the strong moving average that's blocking it from the 290 level. So here's what I believe. For Jollibee to go higher, it needs to break out of the two ranges that has been preventing it from going up. Number one is the 290, which there's a strong amount of selling there. Number two is a 305 resistance. But ultimately, if you want Jollibee to range up and move higher, it must break out of the large sideways market that which is being blocked by the 322 level. But first things first, it needs to break out of 290. Breaks out from 290, Jollibee will go to 305. Breaks out of 305, it will go to 322. Then the biggest challenge to break out of the large sideways market will happen. But here's the thing. If it does not break out of 290, there's a shot again that it goes back to 270. But if it does not go back to 270, there's a smaller support range at around the 290 to 280 level, 290, 280, 280, 290, 280, 290. So if you see Jollibee fail to go up or still form that resistance at the 290 level, the narrative is that Jollibee will stay at that level and it will just hover from the 280 to 290 level for the short term. It's not as big of a range to actually make money off on trading. So I suggest that you pick your spots. Either you wait for the breakout from the 290 level or you wait for it as it hits 270. For long-term investors, I'll update you when it's a good time to come in, because as of this point in time, it really hasn't come up or it hasn't really hit an area where it becomes cheap, where it becomes too cheap to ignore. So I guess that's it from an investment point of view, from a position trading point of view, and from a quick trading point of view. I hope these ideas help you, because at the end of the day, it's all about ideas. It's all about how you create a strategy from the principles of technicals and fundamentals, and you create a narrative that will allow you to pick, that will allow you to trade, that will allow you to find areas on how you can win on the markets. So if you want to know more about this, I place a link on my books below. It's all on Shopee, but we also can send it wherever you are in the world. Or if you want to reach me on our live classroom training sessions that is fully all about technicals and fundamental analysis, I'll put the link below. We have sessions in Manila, Singapore, Dubai, Qatar, Cebu, Hong Kong, and Cagayan de Oro. So if you want to learn from a classroom setup, you want to ask and be practical on questions and how you want it to go, the link is down below, and I really hope to meet you there. And I've been seeing this over the past few years. There's been a large number of Filipinos, a larger trend of people placing a value on classroom learning, because it's amazing. Now, video learning is good also because it allows us to update you wherever you are in the world. But there's nothing better also than live interaction on how you can learn firsthand and ask questions also firsthand. So I hope this video helps you. I hope that if you appreciate this video, like it, share it, subscribe, so that more and more people will be educated and more people will have the knowledge on trading and investing in the market. So I guess that's it for now. What did you like about this, and what about Jollibee did you learn just now? Is it giving you a larger conviction to trade Jollibee, or is it giving you a larger conviction to avoid it as of this point in time? I want to hear from you. Comment below, and I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. Marvin Germo. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you.